At least put on the headband the right way. It's upside down on your head. I mean, did you do any Google search or try to research at all what FNIRS is or what neurofeedback is? It just seems like a lack of effort. Hello YouTube, it's Dr. Cody Rall, your medical doctor confidant. Today we're going to address a hit piece that was put out by YouTuber Drew Gooden on neuroscience wearables. This video has already gotten an impressive 3.1 million views, which isn't too surprising given Drew's following of nearly 4 million subscribers. I appreciate the fact that he's bringing awareness to the neuroscience wearable space and trying the devices for himself. And I can't speak for all the devices, but I think that there was some serious flaws in how he evaluated the Mendi Headband, which I'm very familiar with. So I just wanted to point some things out to Drew, give him some tips for training, and help educate anybody else that's interested in these neuroscience wearables.
I had to guess why. It's because about a month ago, I had the worst panic attack of my life, which honestly is saying something because in the past I've talked about having to go to the ER from panic attacks. But this one was terrifying. For a little over 2 hours, I thought I was going to throw up, pass out, suffocate, die, any or all of those things. And as panic attacks do, it eventually went away and I'm doing a lot better now. I mean, the next day I was feeling great. It was just, that's how anxiety is. It comes up out of nowhere sometimes and it feels like debilitating, like there's nothing you can do to stop it or that it will never go away. So even though I'm in a much better mental state now, words still got out that, sometimes my brain forgets we're supposed to be on the same team, and Instagram has been having a field day with it. Product number 2 is the Mendi.
I had been using it probably about 3 times a week for a couple of months, and then went to a conference with my husband. I was sitting there listening and thought, okay, pay attention and focus. And as I did that, I realized I was focusing.
All right, that's very anecdotal.
The Mendi is working.
At least the other one, they said vibration feedback. This one, she's just like, I put it on my head 3 times and then I was able to listen better at a conference. The headset is used to measure your brain activity.
Man, this is what kills me about neurofeedback training, is that people think it's some kind of quick fix. And she didn't say that she used it 3 times and then she was able to focus. She said 3 times per week for several months. So if you're starting out this training with the expectations that doing it just a couple of times is going to fix your focus issues for good, then we're just not in the right frame of mind here. You wouldn't expect your biceps to grow from just doing a bicep workout for 3 times, or become really good at meditation by sitting for meditation for 3 times. This is something that needs to be incorporated into your routine so that you see progress over weeks, months, and years.
The headset is used to measure your brain activity. It automatically connects to Mendi's app. Okay, but what does it do? Follow your progress and get lifestyle recommendations that help you boost your training and brain health further. Okay, but what does it do? Controlling mood, increasing focus, improving sleep. But how? How does it do those things? The training game shows what's happening in your brain. Simply focus to make the ball rise. Okay, so it doesn't do anything to my brain, but it can measure my brain's activity. I can sort of train myself to focus by rewarding my brain when it does a good job, I guess.
Come on, man. Did you even click that plus button right on the page that you showed on your video where it talks about increasing blood flow to the frontal lobe? And then if you look at the research page, it dives even further, talking about increasing blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, helps with sustained focus, emotional control, and other cognitive benefits. Now, I know that not all of us took anatomy and physiology courses in high school or college, but I think that most people are aware that you can train parts of your brain to improve these cognitive functions. I mean, did you do any Google search or try to research at all what FNIRS is or what neurofeedback is? And maybe my ego is a little big. I don't have near the following as you do, Drew, but if you would have done a quick search, I mean, so many of my videos would have come up. Mendi training tutorials and explanation of the technology. The resources are there. I just feel like either you were trying to be funny and make a point about making fun of online devices, or you're just lazy and you're not educating yourself. Now, of course, Mendi needs to continue improving the education both on their app as well as their website. But with your video here, it just didn't seem like you did any investigative work at all. It just seems like a lack of effort. If you want to bring up my videos and roast them, roast me, that's fine. But you know, if you're just expecting to be spoon-fed how to improve your focus, honestly, I just think that that's lazy and a part of the magic pill mentality that causes people not to actually take active steps and an active role in improving their mental health.
So you probably noticed I'm a little skeptical of almost all of these products. I want to believe that the science is all true and it's all legitimate. I want to believe that these companies truly just set out to help people on their journey. But let's be real about it. As more and more people talk about mental health struggles, there are other people who look at that as a new market to target. It is an ever-growing demographic of people who are probably seen as easily exploitable. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to just be like, oh boy, all this stuff is gonna fix my brain. Because you wanna know how much money I spent on 6 devices? $1,462.96. $1,462.
Okay, you're skeptical. That's fine. That's important to be. But to say that people that are creating this technology are out to capitalize on people with mental health issues that are vulnerable, that's just not been my experience. I mean, mental health treatment field is not something that you go into to make a lot of money. If you're smart and you want to make a bunch of money, you go into financial analytics, you go into real estate. There's a lot of other ways to make money, maybe the gambling industry, for example. People that become mental health providers either had mental health challenges themselves or had a loved one that went through difficulties. And honestly, in my experience, they really want to help and improve the situation. Mental health treatment field in general is sort of failing the population, with suicide rates going up and mental health conditions being more prominent than ever. So we definitely need new solutions. The development of new prescription medications has really slowed down. Not a whole lot of innovation there. Psychedelic treatment is a really exciting area where we're making improvements, but definitely we need some kind of method to collect more data about the brain so that we can effectively treat it. And that's what these neuroscience wearables are trying to do.
Mendi was one that you put on your head, right? I'll start with that. What is the point of this? It's in a box, wrapped in bubble wrap, inside another box. And then for extra protection, they put in 1 sheet of paper. This is how it arrived in one piece. Oh, it's beautiful. Finally, I can pay attention at the conference. Welcome to Mendi. Inside this box, you have one of the very first Mendi devices to ever see the light of day. Guess they haven't sold that many. Important product and legal information. This product is illegal to use. Good to know. Now here's the goods right here. Hell, I don't think I'm supposed to put it on my head yet, but obviously I'm gonna put it on my head. So this one has no information on it. I just have to download an app. Ooh, the app has a 3.6, not...
Look, Drew, I get it. I've watched some of your other videos. You're a funny guy. Part of your channel's angle is that you order products online and then you get them and try them out and make fun of them. But at least put on the headband the right way. It's upside down on your head. The least you could do is put the device on the right way. It just looks like you're just being silly and not even giving this a fair shot.
Remember a couple months ago when I wasted like $1,000 on what ended up being almost entirely a bunch of junk? Well, I'm doing that again.
So the belt's really cool because it solves those exact 3 problems. There's no holes, there's no flap, and it's super flat, like low profile.
And it looks dorky as hell. What a build-up. You've got the inspirational music in the background, all the nonsensical buzzwords.
The webbing's a military webbing that we have custom made for us. It's rated at like 3,000 pounds. It's got just a ton of strength.
What does that even mean? I'm talking bright fucking red. I want people to see my big dumb astronaut belt from miles away. Honestly, there's no explanation on how it works. There's not even a picture of someone wearing it. So I have no clue what to expect or how to use it, but I guess I'll find out. So expecting my scoliosis to be fully cured.
This has got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever owned. Great. And from all I know about this, like the whole thing is the app. So if the app sucks, then the product is useless. So that's not a great sign. Mendi doesn't have enough variety. It is currently only the ball game and 1 music piece. For something you are encouraged to do at least 3 times a week, 5 minutes a session, I wish there was more. For the price, I feel like this hurts the experience and desire to use it. That's a good point. Welcome to Mendi. Let your brain health...
Fair enough, they are adding new features. There's just the ball game right now. But honestly, if you are into meditation and neurofeedback training, you shouldn't need a huge variety, but that's something that they're working on.
The journey began. Great news, there's an update available. Is that great news? It's a headset right above your eyebrows. Tighten as much as possible. Fuck. It's already pretty tight. It's not super comfortable, but I'm here for results, all right, not comfort.
You don't need to tighten the headband that tight. It shouldn't hurt. Just a snug fit is fine.
No pain, no gain, even with your brain. Avoid bright light. Oh, not sure that's really an option.
Just don't stand in direct sunlight when you're using it and you'll be fine. It's just that when you have too much light, it interferes with the laser that's tracking your blood flow.
All right, the movement of the ball represents your brain activity. Ball rises a few seconds after you increase your brain activity. Win stars by sustaining your brain activity. I want to win some stars. Do they work on the Jeremy Renner app? I don't know how to make myself focus more. Whoa, I did it. Oh, I suck now. Don't get me wrong, I love that I'm getting stars, but I don't know what I'm doing to earn them. I'm just gonna shut up and focus. It worked. Oh no, oh no. I'm plummeting right now. 58? I failed? I guess the thing is, like, I don't know how to be good at it. Like, I understand that if it goes up, I'm doing well, and if it goes down, I'm sucking ass, but I don't know what I'm doing to cause either of those things.
So this is very binary, right? Am I doing good or am I sucking ass is what he said. If you look at meditation, for example, it's not that you did good or you're bad at meditation. It's all a learning process. If you look at my videos, my tutorial training videos, what you'll see is that I recommend a couple of different meditation techniques to affect the ball. You can do different types of focus. There's more relaxed focus called divergent focus and more constricted focus called convergent focus. You can use that. You know, it's like the intensity of your focus can affect the ball. Mainly, I don't like to get too complicated with people that are just starting out with neurofeedback technology. And my advice is that allow your brain to sort of settle in, and then when you get stars, really feel the emotion deeply, because that actually releases dopamine in your brain, which reinforces those pathways, which leads to more blood flow to your frontal lobe and improves your concentration as a result through operant conditioning. I know I just threw a lot of big words out there, but that's really what's happening, is that your brain is learning to increase the blood flow to your frontal lobe. If you're stuck and the ball has flatlined, I recommend that you visualize getting the stars and being happy about it so that you re-engage that pathway and it actually results in the stars going back up. It's a continual process and you get to feel it out, but the important part is that you actually feel like you have better focus at the end of the session, which might take a couple of weeks of training, but you need to be diligent about it and be very aware of your cognitive state and develop that self-awareness of your cognitive state so that when you are experiencing differences in how your brain is functioning, you'll actually be able to detect it.
The only thing I do know is that it's on so tight I can feel my pulse in my forehead, and I don't love that. Okay, at least though, it gave me a metric, it gave me a starting point. I can do this every day for a couple weeks and see if I get better at it. Set a weekly goal. 7 days. I'm doing it every day this week. Add the weekly goal to my home screen. Aw. No. So you're supposed to do this like every day when you first wake up and then go straight to work and have like a giant like bruise on your forehead. So I've got something for my...
Again, yeah, you don't have to make it so tight that it makes a mark on your forehead.
Okay, but here's what I don't understand. I've used this a couple times. If I just focus on the ball, I'm not in a flow state. I'm waiting for the ball to do something, but then I'm the one in control of the ball, but I don't know how to control the ball. That makes me reactive. You know, how is that any different than me just like scrolling through Twitter, like waiting to be stimulated by something? If I'm waiting to be stimulated by the ball, I'm not doing anything, you know?
Making Mendi
You don't have to be reactive. You can use that visualization technique to get ahead of it and, you know, feel that positive emotion when the balls go up to reinforce the learning.
Good. I'm going to put noise canceling headphones on so I'm not distracted. And this should be my best one yet because I'm following all the rules.
Hi, me again. Now, I developed a suspicion early on that no matter what I did, the Mendi app was going to tell me that I kept doing better every single day because obviously it wants me to think that it is working. So after a couple days, I decided to see what would happen if I intentionally sabotaged my training. On day 4, I just laid down until I dozed off, and boy was I focused. I mean, look at all those stars. I'm killing it right now. On day 5, I spent the entire session just watching a YouTube video. On day 6, I played RimWorld the whole time. On day 7, I didn't even look at my phone once. I just spent my whole session eating a wrap that I made purposely too big. My best score so far. On day 8, I rode my exercise bike while playing a guitar solo to the Mendi song. And even though I forgot to plug in my actual microphone for this shot, I still knocked that ball game out of the park.
I think I cracked the code.
Just as I suspected, my score went up incrementally every single day. 58 to 64 to 68 to 71 to 79 to 86. Despite the fact that I wasn't even trying to do any of what the app told me to do, my brain was getting better and better every day the more I used the Mendi. And sure, there's a chance that maybe I really was just more focused every time. Shit, maybe all these products in conjunction with each other are working as intended and my brain has doubled in size. But it's hard not to think that maybe the app is just doing exactly what it's designed to, which is to make you think that you're getting smarter every day and that this was a good investment. Call me a cynic, but I'm not buying it. And if you still don't believe me, on day 9, I strapped the Mendi to a container of oatmeal, and you know what happened? Nothing. Actually, it knew that I was trying to deceive it. So I do have to give this thing a little bit of credit for at least being able to tell the difference between a human head and Publix old-fashioned dry oats. It's doing something in there. I'm just not exactly sure what.
Okay, fair enough. I was just at a Mendi webinar. They actually did design the score to be multifaceted. Part of the score increase is that you've been using it every day. Yes, there's a positive reinforcement there. Maybe you need to scale back a little bit on how much the score is weighted on how many days you did it in a row. I don't think that they were predicting that anybody would feel like they got scammed because of it. And it's not a scam because a large component of that score really is how much blood flow is going to your frontal lobe and how long you've been able to sustain that increase. There's a lot of different ways that you can increase blood flow to that area. You can watch videos, you can play guitar, you can lean forward, you can lean back. All these things will affect the blood flow to that area. The device is like a computer. It does what you tell it. It can only tell how much blood flow is in that area. It doesn't decipher how you actually made that happen. So if you're not using it properly, then you're not going to make any gains in your focus. That's why when you're training with this, you want to sit still with your eyes open and try only to influence the signal with your focus. My own personal experience is that over the course of a few weeks, my score peaked in the low 80s and then was more variable between the mid 70s to low 80s depending on how much I was able to increase the blood flow to that area. Personally, I noticed a significant change in my ability to focus during meditation sessions within a week or two. The continued use of Mendi throughout last year helped me center my thoughts during a difficult transition out of the military where I was experiencing a lot of anxiety myself. If you want more details, you can check out all the Mendi videos on my channel. I really hope that you trained more than what you showed here because it looked like you only took it seriously for about 2 days. It just looks like to me that you didn't take the training very seriously and that you're just trying to be funny for this video.
So after a couple days, I decided to see what would happen if I intentionally sabotaged my training.
And what is this making your brain smarter? It's improving your focus. So let's get a little bit more nuanced in our vocabulary there.
Piece of junk. Honestly, it does exactly what it's advertised to do. It tracks your HRV, your heart rate variability, a metric that I had never heard of until it told me about it.
You don't know what HRV is? Heart rate variability? Man, you are not in the biohacking space or the health and wellness space because that's been such a buzzword in that space for the last 5 years. I guess that means that we're reaching more mainstream audience with these neuroscience wearables, but there's a lot of education to be done.
Just for the sake of being thorough, I'm going to keep experimenting with these things for the next couple of months, and I'll let you know in a future video if anything drastic changes. But for the time being, I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of these wearables.
Yeah, man, keep experimenting. Hit me up if you want. Check out my training videos. I'm happy to give you any tips and would be happy to help.
You know, maybe I'll get more work done. And maybe on the other end of the spectrum, because I went into this so resistant and so skeptical, it's kind of my own fault that this didn't work for me because I wasn't allowing my brain to take on any change. It's sort of the whole I can't help you if you're not willing to help yourself thing. Although that's me really trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, to recap my experience, I think the Mendi would be a bad investment for most people. I think the Leaf would be a bad investment for anyone. I think that, so as a company focused on people's well-being, if you can afford to charge substantially less for a product and still profit from it, why aren't you doing that? It seems like you've arbitrarily tacked on this mental health tax because you know that your target audience might just be desperate enough to spend all that money anyway. And so no matter how effective these things prove to be, I cannot comfortably get behind them. To me, this whole business model seems extremely exploitative. That being said, I'm curious to hear if you guys have bought anything like these and if you've had similar or hopefully better experiences. It's always hard to...
Man, lower the price. Do you understand how cutting edge this technology is and how difficult it is to fit it into a device that only costs a couple $100s? Like, Drew, you act like this isn't cutting edge technology that's put in the form of a wearable that you can buy for a couple $100s. I mean, this stuff was siloed for many, many years in clinics and research institutions that had tens of thousands of dollars to spend on being able to collect this type of data. The fact that they're able to put it in a wearable is a miracle, to be honest. And what the hell is a mental health tax?
Tell exactly what the consensus for something is, when from past experience, I know that some of these websites heavily moderate their reviews. And also half of these products don't even show reviews. They just show a handful of testimonials at the bottom and call it a day. Wow.
All right, Drew, thanks for bringing awareness to the space. I really wish you luck with the training. You've got my videos to take a look at on the internet, and feel free to reach out to me. And thanks to you, the audience. If you have comments or questions, please put them in the chat below. And take a look at this video, the Mendi training video, if you still want to dive deeper on how these devices work and how to use them properly.